Hello everybody, what is up and welcome back to another episode of ExoCraft Season 1. Today is episode 13, and if you didn't catch the last episode, we made a ton of progress clearing out this island, and as you can see behind me here, I've done a ton more since then. Where you see this oak marks where we cleared up to in the previous episode, and as you can see since then, I've done a ton more, all the way from here along to here, and we've pretty much just cut the island in half along this line, only stopping when we got to our kind of temporary base area over here. So a lot more has been done, and I'll put a picture on screen of what this island now looks like from above. And from above it looks like half the island's gone, however the other half we have left is a lot more mountainous than what we'd done over here. So we're probably a third of the way through. And I have now found a way to put our stone to good use, because we were getting it by the chest load. And this area is very messy. I do need to clear it up pretty soon, but I haven't yet. And here we have a bunch of stonemasons. That one I haven't unlocked yet. Most of them are unlocked. And they trade 20 stone for an emerald, and every stonemason does. It's not like a trade you have to hope to get. All of the stonemasons, when you unlock them, will trade you an emerald for 20 stone, and I've been making good use of that trade. And here's my valuables box I left over here, and you can see I have a stack of emerald blocks, which is definitely coming in handy when we need books or tools from the toolsmiths. So for the first part of today's episode, we are going to be blowing some stuff up with TNT again, because that was pretty fun. I need to work on my aim and my placement, but it was pretty fun. And so the one thing that we're lacking, as it turns out, is not gunpowder but sand. So we are going to start off this episode today by going and gathering some sand. Alright, so let's just throw down an ender chest. We will put down our bed and grab out some shulker boxes. I'm probably going to try and fill maybe 4 boxes, I think. We're going to try and fill 4 multicolored boxes. I have a few spare tools in here. So let's jump into a quick time lapse. And there we go. So as you can see, we have ourselves 4 rainbow coloured shulker boxes. That is my tools box. What am I doing? Yeah, 4 multicoloured boxes of sand, which will last us quite a while, hopefully. So let's grab that as well and chuck all of this away in our ender chest. Grab our bed, grab our ender chest, and let's head on home. And this should make 3 stacks or thereabouts, pretty close anyway. So let's take the rest of this sand and we'll throw it in there, put this shulker box away, and let's get to destroying some mountains. And there we are. As you can see, we've just blown the tops right off these mountains, removing the mycelium and dirt layer. We haven't really managed to get down and break much of the stone layer, but we probably won't do that with TNT because it is incredibly expensive, and I ended up using 5 stacks of TNT where we originally were going to use 3. So as you can see down here, if you noticed, we have actually removed all of the mushrooms off this island, and I have silk touch on my axe, so I've been collecting all of the mushroom blocks, and I don't know if I'll ever use them. They've got kind of a cool texture, but I might at some point, and I thought it was worth having them. No point just leaving them. So we've got that if ever we need it. So now that we have done that, I'm going to jump into my creative test world for the next part of this episode. So for any of you who didn't see the previous episode, one of the big things we did in the episode, and what I put as the thumbnail for the video, was the design that I put together for my base. Now it was heavily inspired by what Grian and Good Times with Scar built on the ExoCraft server. However, I've decided that even though there are some differences, like mine has rocky sides where theirs just kind of slope down into the water, mine has this hole in the centre and the statues, and theirs had a crystal in the centre, I've decided still it looks far too similar and looks like it's just a copy, whereas I want it to be my own, and I'm going to change it up a bit and modify it. I really like the idea of having these big stone pillars in this shape. However, yeah, we're going to change it up a bit. So what I've done, where you see this line here is where the island used to come out to, and I have just extended it down and out a bit. We will probably have to rebuild rocks again over here. However, the first thing that we are going to do is work on the stone structures. And the first idea that I had for that was doing a similar thing to what we've got here, these 4 sloping pillars, just a tiny bit further out, some smaller pillars behind them that aren't quite as tall. So I'm not going to texture it, I'm just going to lay it out in stone for now, just to get an idea of how it might look. Alright, so what do we think of that? We've got ourselves a second pillar behind the first one. It's not as tall, but it's got a similar scale in terms of the curve. I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. Alright, I'm going to put one of those behind each of the other 3 pillars. So there we are, that is now done. I think it's looking pretty good. And definitely quite cool. I was considering adding a 3rd row, but I don't think it's necessary. I do have a little idea for something I might put there, so I'm going to test that out real quick. Yeah, I tried out a little idea in the corner. It didn't really work, so I'm going to think on that a little bit more. I'm not entirely sure. And I've tried adding a 3rd, much smaller layer. These are all 5 blocks wide. I tried adding a 3 block wide one that was a lot shorter. I'm not sure. I quite like it. I'm not sure. I need to think on that. And now, in the centre, the idea is to have a hole lined with black concrete that we jump down to, and then there'd be corridors going off in these directions to get to different parts of our base. However, one of my worries was that we might die of fall damage. So what I've done is I've put hay bales beneath this, and now if we have protection 4, feather falling 4, protection 4 and protection 4, no chest plate obviously, and then if we put ourselves into survival and teleport ourselves 530 blocks up, so we're falling from a height of 530 blocks, let's see how much damage we take. And we only just survived that. But we will not normally be falling from that height. In fact, we'd probably normally be falling from more like 200. So if we put ourselves into survival, there you go. You can see, only just in time, but we took 4.5 hearts of damage. So what that means is, even if our elytra breaks or we fall, when we're flying into the base. So long as we have those hay bales beneath, that is not going to be a problem. Yeah, I've gone and put a third layer all the way around, and I think I like it. Yeah, I think we're going to stick with that. Alright, this looks kind of cool. I thought I might add a bit of a lake with a waterfall. And I got to imagine that we brought these rocky sides out to the front. I might do that a little bit later, but for now just imagine it. I think that would look really cool once we've done that. And then I've used sand in the bottom with some slabs, grown some sugarcane along the sides, put some fish. I think that could work, and if we set it to night, you can see with the pickles in it, the sea pickles, it has a slight glow to it. I quite like it, and we're not going to put one on every side because that would just look silly, so we're probably just going to have this one. Alright, now I think the next thing that we need to do is texture these pillars and see how they look. There we are. That is looking really, really cool. I am liking that. Let's zoom back out again. So yeah, that is looking pretty cool. There's one more thing I want to try. You guys are going to have to trust me on this, although I honestly have no idea myself whether it's going to work and look good. Okay, let's see how this looks. Alright. Okay, that didn't do as much as I was expecting. I was expecting that to do... Okay, wait. Hang on, there, now let's see how that looks. And okay, yeah, this isn't working how I was expecting it to. I was thinking we could have one of them a lot more crumbled than the rest. Maybe we just, let's see, maybe grab some slabs. Yeah, that works. Okay, cool. I just wanted one of them to look really crumbled. In fact, maybe we could do it with this one here as well. So if we just break out a few blocks, throw in some stairs. Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright, so I've looked at the time and I don't have long left on this video. So I'm going to put bamboo and plants all the way around this island and maybe some cliffs down the side, and I'll be right back. And there we go, it's finished. I think it's actually looking really cool. And I've set the time to dusk so that we could see the sea pickles lighting up that little pond. Yeah, I think it's looking really cool. Now, I've got to admit, I didn't bother doing this all the way around the outside because, yeah, I just didn't have enough time. I need to get this video out for you guys today. So that is that project all wrapped up. And with that is where we are going to have to wrap up for today, because I am, as I said, out of time. But I'd say this has been a pretty useful episode, and I certainly enjoyed it, and I would hope you guys did too. Anyway, I would like to say thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys all in the next one.